Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today we are going to do permanent tissues in plants. So let us begin. Guys, before I begin, I would like you to hit the subscribe button because more videos will be coming up related to tissues, both animal and plant tissues. I will be covering each and every topic of this chapter. So please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. So guys, when we talk about plant tissues, we can divide them into two types. There are the dividing tissues and the tissues that are non-dividing. So the dividing tissues are the meristematic tissues. Okay, very important. And of course, the very first tissue that you study in the chapter. So it keeps on divided. Its only job is to keep dividing vigorously. And the other type of tissue, which is the permanent tissue, is non-dividing. Basically, it is the meristematic tissue that when it stops to divide, what once the cells have been formed and they have divided, they have done their job, so they will stop dividing and then they will turn into permanent tissues. And these are the non-dividing tissues. Okay, let me just give a comparison between a man's life and that of a meristematic tissue. So, when we talk about meristematic tissue, and I say that it is rapidly dividing, and of course, it is the reason for growth of certain parts of in the plants. So, it is just like a baby. When a man is a baby, we are born as a baby. So, our work is just to play and grow. Okay, that is a temporary phase of our life. We keep playing and we keep growing. We don't have to worry about things. But when you're fully grown up, when you are done with your college, you pick up a job, then definitely you get into more permanent roles, like that you might get a job, so you have completely become an independent adult. And then you get married, so you assume a role of a husband, and likewise the female child will become a wife, and then she will go, both of them will go on to become mother and father, sister and brother, and more responsibility will set in, so they will become more serious about life in future. So same is with permanent tissues. So permanent tissues are just like a human adult life, where they are carrying out specific roles. They are doing different specific and more permanent roles in a plant. So let us just understand how they do these permanent roles and what their functions are. So we will, in each video I will just cover one type of tissue, so that you also pause and understand. It is better when you are studying tissue, so you do one tissue at a time. What happens to the cells formed by meristematic tissue? So where do these cells go once the growth is done? And of course, the previous there will be new cells which will be formed and dividing. But what about the cells which have already done, are already done with their function of division? So, like I explained in my previous slide about a human's life or a man's life, same as with the meristematic tissue, they will take up a specific role and will lose the ability to divide. Just as we become adults, so we are not going to keep growing, physically. As a result, they form a permanent tissue. So they take up a specific role. These cells are going to, when they stop dividing, they assume a specific role and responsibility. And this process is known as differentiation. So they form different types of permanent tissue. So always remember, in case you get this question, what is going to happen to the meristematic tissue? It is not like throughout its life it will keep dividing. There is going to be a stop to it, to the dividing and growing of the plant. So in that phase, the meristematic cells or the tissues will assume more permanent roles, and this is known as differentiation. Permanent tissue is of two types: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. So, again, please do remember that Meristematic tissue has turned into permanent tissue. Permanent tissue will again be divided into two types: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue is of three kinds: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Complex tissue is only of two types, that is xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem, you know what their functions are. We are going to get into their details. However, parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma, they are new terms to you, but of course very easy to understand. So in this video, we will just talk about parenchyma tissue. Parenchyma tissue. So what is parenchyma tissue? Important to understand is it is composed of living cells. Now why am I stressing on living cells is when we will be studying about the tissues further like chlorenchyma and sclerenchyma, there are dead tissues also, or dead cells, in fact, not tissue, let us say, there they are composed of dead cells also. So it is important to remember that parenchyma is that important tissue which is composed of all living cells. Now it is not really specialized that it will just do one role. It can take up different types of roles depending on where it is present in the plant's body. So this is an image of the parenchyma tissue here. Please have a look at it carefully. When you look at it, you will find that it has air spaces. You can see these caps here. When you look at the cell, you will see a large central vacuole. Nucleus is towards the side. Now the vacuole is large because parenchyma tissue is found in leaves and it contains chloroplast and chlorophyll. So when it is performing photosynthesis, we must understand that it will act as a storage place also for certain materials. So this is the reason that it has a large vacuole and nucleus is at the site. Looking at the picture, you will understand that you can locate the parenchyma tissue in the leaves. You can find it in the stem, in the roots, and in the fruits as well. You know, it is the most widely distributed tissue that is found in the plant body. So most widely distributed tissue, you have to remember that. And this green color, it shows that wherever it is green color, it is filled with chloroplast and will help in carrying out photosynthesis. Again, I'm stressing that the cells will more or less be spherical. They are going to be thin walled. They will have a central, and which is going to be very very large because it is carrying out photosynthesis. It will store nutrients, it will store minerals for the plants. So this would be the structure. So when you are drawing, many a times you are asked to draw parenchyma tissue, so please do keep these details in mind, especially when I had shown you the previous slide. So I had shown you that they are spherical. So when you're drawing, you remember that it's spherical. So draw them in spheres, make their cell wall thin, and in the center, when you say large central vacuole, so show a big vacuole and color them green, because that is very very particular about the parenchyma cells. Let us talk about the functions of parenchyma tissue. First is, like I said, that it is the widely distributed tissue in the plant. You will almost find it everywhere. So for that reason, we find it in supportive tissues of the plants first and foremost. Secondly, it stores food. That means you will be able to find it in fruits also. In many fruits, you will find the parenchyma tissue because of its ability to store food. In some situation, it contains chlorophyll, so it is present in the leaves and certain green parts of the plant. So it will help in photosynthesis. Now the name given to parenchyma that is found in the leaves is also known as chlorenchyma. Please remember the term chlorenchyma comes from having chlorophyll in aquatic plants. So it is found in aquatic plants as well. So we know that aquatic plants float. So they are able to float because of having air in between the cells, in between the cells. So there the parenchyma tissue will help in providing large air spaces that will enable the plant to float. And in such aquatic plants, it is known as erenchyma. Please remember the term erenchyma. So parenchyma is called erenchyma in aquatic plants, which it is helping to float. The parenchyma of stems and root also stores nutrients and water. So when we will learn about phloem and xylem, there you will find the mention of parenchyma tissue. So now from these functions, you should be able to understand that when I'm saying it is widely distributed, so it is because of these reason it has so many functions in a plant. It does not stick to one function but many functions. So this is a slide that I have prepared for the various functions and the terms used for parenchyma depending on its role it is performing. So this will help you to remember. So you can just capture these images and try to think about it, that how it is functioning and where it is present. So you will know their function and terms. So I hope that this has helped you to understand what parenchyma tissue is. And also I want you to just understand that whenever you are learning about a plant tissue, first of all understand what the structure look like, whether what this how are the cells arranged in a tissue. Then secondly, you talk about the location where it is present, or location where it is present. And when you know the location that it is present here, depending on it you can also write about the function. For example, if you learn about the location of parenchyma tissue, that it is found in leaves, so you can very easily figure out that if it is present in leaves, then it might help out in photosynthesis and so on. So this would be a very good way of remembering the content on tissues. And this was all about parenchyma tissue. I think nothing difficult here. So if you are very attentive and listening to what I have said, I'm sure that you will be able to write it in your papers and remember it as well. Thank you.